Hey everyone, it's Matthew Kent. Welcome to Theology on the Ground. Welcome to my morning walk, my morning quiet time. I actually read my Bible before the walk, but here is the thought for you from my Bible this morning. And this one is on a huge topic, really, and to a certain extent, one that is both awe-inspiring and at times one of the most emotionally difficult to swallow, probably in all the Bible. Because when you come head to head with suffering, and unfortunately you will come head to head with suffering, some people take great comfort in this, and other people it rubs them the wrong way, and it's a hard pill to swallow, we'll put it that way. So the topic is the sovereignty of God. This comes out of Proverbs chapter 16 verse 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord. So really simple verse right there. But the idea of the lot being cast into the lap, and so the lot being this representation here of chance. So think of it kind of like drawing the short straw. Or you could think of it, a little less exact of an analogy, but like rolling the dice. But it's that same kind of idea, the idea of chance, that chance is going to take care of something. We'll flip a coin, we'll roll the dice, that sort of thing. And so this is one of those moments where the Bible sort of pulls back the curtain and lets us into the deeper realities of things, that, hey, it looks like there's chance operating in an effect all the time and everywhere, but really it's God and his sovereign control and his sovereign design. Now, the hard part about this is that this does mean that when you are suffering, when something terrible happened to you, God did ordain that. And I can't back away from that statement. I can't soften that blow. God ordained that happen. That doesn't mean that God is happy that it happened. If someone wronged you and seriously wronged you, chances are that God's wrath is against that person for what they did. He is incredibly upset. But at the same time, part of God's plan all along is for things that upset him to happen. And we don't know all of his purposes. We don't know the fullness of his purpose, but we do have some clues as to the main idea of his purposes. And one of the things that's ultimately happening, that the universe is all about, is glorifying him. One of the things that it's also all about is, and Romans 8:28 is rightly, I think, used as a verse to comfort people in times of suffering. But one of the reasons that, all this evil still exists out there is because God is going to use it to demonstrate that he can work even evil things and the evil intentions of men's designs together for good, to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. That's Romans 8:28. And then, of course, 8:29 says that, he's predestined you to be conformed to the image of Christ. And, Jesus had to endure many evil things at the hands of evil men. And so the suffering, you might not see the purpose in it now, but God certainly has a purpose, and God is certainly using it for you, for your benefit, to grow you and to glorify himself. And ultimately, I truly believe that each of us, at the end of our life, when we have some perspective, and I think we'll be able to look back on our whole life and say, God was using it together for good. All of it. The good parts, the bad parts, the in-between parts, God was using it together for good. Praise God. It's just a little verse, and it's sort of the Proverbs can tend to bounce around, and there's other verses in the Proverbs that point back to the same concept, including some in the same chapter. But if you read it there, it's almost like even Proverbs verses, we say not to take the Bible out of context, but sometimes there is no context for the verse in the Proverbs other than the fact that they're in the Proverbs, and they're just good general true wisdom. So it, you know, it's just kind of this lone verse there that it just gets thrown out by the author of Proverbs that, hey, listen, God is sovereign over everything. And I think hopefully this video serves in a similar fashion, just a small out of context video in your day, reminding you of a truth that God is sovereign. The author of Proverbs felt the need to throw that out there, and so I feel the need to throw that out there. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this video. See you tomorrow. Blessings.